Have you ever wondered how small habits can change everything? Not the dramatic ones, not the loud ones, just the quiet acts that no one claps for, but slowly bring you back to yourself. This isn't about fixing your life, it's about finding your pulse again. Not to become perfect, but to become present. The Stoics never chased more, they mastered less, fewer needs, fewer lies, fewer steps in the wrong direction. 15 habits, simple, brutal, unseen by most, but felt by everything inside you. Do them for 1 week and your life won't just feel different. You will. The present is all you have. But most miss it, chasing a future that never slows down or replaying a past that can't answer back. You scroll, you plan, you regret, you react, but you're not here. The Stoics lived in this breath, not the next, not the one that already passed. Because control doesn't exist in memory or imagination. It lives in what you do now, not what you say, not what you hope, what you choose in this very second. Presence isn't peace, it's position. It's knowing where you are so you can choose where to stand. So stop, feel the air, hear the silence, return to your body, because nothing real ever happens outside of this moment. And you've already left too many behind. Everything changes. Everything, people, plans, perspectives, you. And still, you resist. You grip what's slipping, you anchor where the tide turns. You call it loyalty, but it's just fear. The Stoics didn't worship stability. They honored adaptation. Because peace doesn't come from keeping things the same, it comes from letting go at the right time. So loosen the grip, let the river move. Let life reshape you without asking your permission. You weren't made to control the storm. You were made to stand inside it, unshaken, and still moving forward. Too much always ends up empty. Too much comfort, and you grow soft. Too much pleasure, and you forget meaning. Too much ambition, and you lose your way chasing shadows. The Stoics didn't reject joy. They refined it. They took what was enough. No more, no less. Because discipline isn't denial, it's precision. It's knowing when to stop, when to say, that's enough for me. And walk away while you still have yourself. You don't need to burn out to feel alive. You don't need to drown in abundance to believe you've lived. Take what serves, leave what clutters. And let your life breathe. Sharp, simple, strong. Do what's right, even if no one claps, even if no one sees, even if no one follows. Because virtue isn't performance, it's principle. The Stoics didn't act for reward. They acted from alignment, not for approval, not to impress, but because right was still right in silence. You don't need a reason to be honest. You don't need an audience to be disciplined, just a mirror, and the courage to look into it every night. Don't live to be liked. Live to be clear with yourself. Let others chase applause. You chase integrity. Because the soul only sleeps well when the action matched the standard. You don't need more. You need to notice the breath in your chest, the roof above you, the person who stayed when no one else did. Gratitude isn't about settling, it's about seeing. The Stoics practiced this daily, not to feel good, but to stay grounded. Because when you forget what you have, you chase what you don't need, and that's how peace slips into craving. Look around, then look again. There's beauty in the ordinary, power in the simple, joy in what's already yours. You don't have to lose something to finally value it. Pause, hold it, honor it. Because abundance is not gain, it's perspective. Feel everything. Obey nothing. Your anger is real, your fear is valid, your sadness deserves space, but none of them get to drive. The Stoics didn't kill emotion, they clarified it. They asked, is this useful? Is this true? Is this mine, or just noise I absorbed? Because the difference between chaos and calm is just one pause, one breath, one refusal to react without reason. You're allowed to feel it, but you're not allowed to become it. So sit with it, name it, let it pass without letting it decide. Mastery isn't numbness, it's control. It's knowing what burns inside you and still choosing where to point the flame. What you avoid grows. Fear isn't the enemy. Avoidance is, because the thing you run from runs your life. The Stoics didn't wait for courage, they acted. even when their hands shook, even when their minds screamed stop, not because they were fearless, but because they were clear. Fear shows you the edge, the boundary, the thing that threatens the version of you that's too small now. So face it, not to destroy it, but to understand it. And once you see it clearly, you take its power. You realize it's not that big, not that sharp, not that real. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's proximity. It's choosing to move while afraid and becoming more because of it. You can't grow if you don't look back. Not to regret, but to reflect. The Stoics ended each day with a question. Where did I fall short? Where did I hold the line? Where did I lose myself without noticing? They didn't do it for guilt. They did it for clarity. Because without review, you repeat. Without awareness, you drift. And discipline without reflection is just motion, not mastery. So stop, before you sleep, before you scroll, before the world distracts you again. Ask yourself, what did I build today? What did I break? What did I carry that I should have let go? And then, start again. Sharper, quieter, stronger, one honest night at a time. Be firm, but never cruel. Stand your ground, but don't forget others are still learning theirs. The Stoics weren't emotionless, they were anchored, and from that stillness, they offered grace. Not because it was deserved, but because it was needed. Compassion isn't softness, it's control. It's choosing not to strike when you could. It's power without ego. You don't have to agree to be kind. You don't have to be close to be respectful. Just hold your line without piercing theirs. Because real strength doesn't crush, it carries. And in a world that reacts, be the one who responds. Not to win, but to stay human. When the why is clear, the path holds. Even when it hurts, even when it's slow, even when no one walks beside you. Purpose doesn't make it easy, it makes it worth it. The Stoics didn't drift, they moved from principle, from something deeper than impulse. They asked, does this align? Does this matter? Does this move me forward in the direction I chose? You can't fake direction. You either know your north or you're just reacting to weather. So pause, strip the noise, ask yourself, what's the reason behind this breath? This step, this fight, and if you don't have one, find one. Because without purpose, you'll chase everything and become nothing. They don't need to see it. You need to know it. Because every time you chase approval, you trade a piece of yourself for silence, and it never lasts. The praise, the applause, the nods, they feel good until they don't come. Then you're empty, then you question, then you bend. The Stoics didn't move for attention, they moved for alignment. They didn't care how it looked, only that it was right. You can be invisible and still worthy, still solid, still anchored. Validation is a game you lose the moment you play it. So stop asking, stop proving, stop explaining. Let your walk say what your words never could. I don't need to be seen to be certain. Stillness isn't emptiness, it's power without noise. But most people can't sit in silence. They reach for sound, scroll, talk, react, just to feel like they exist. The Stoics did the opposite. They sat, they breathed, they listened. Because the quiet is where truth lives, where the real answers surface, where you finally hear what you've been drowning out. You don't need constant input to feel alive. You need space to return, to recalibrate, to hear your own thoughts again. So make room for it, not once a year, but daily. Let it surround you, let it sharpen you. And when you walk back into the world, you'll move from center, not from noise. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for motivation. It doesn't need good weather. It doesn't flinch when the mood shifts. It just shows up. The Stoics didn't worship emotion. They respected it, but didn't obey it. Because feelings are fickle, but direction? That's built. One choice, one habit, one standard, held when no one's watching. You won't always want to rise, you won't always feel strong, but discipline isn't about feeling strong. It's about moving even when you don't. So stop asking how you feel, start asking what you promised, and then keep it. Not for them, for you. Because discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. Earned one kept promise at a time. Don't just say it. Be it. Integrity isn't a quote, it's a practice. It's who you are when no one asks, when no one checks, when no one's watching. The Stoics didn't announce their values, they lived them, quietly, relentlessly, whether or not it made them liked. Because integrity isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Holding the line, even when it's hard, even when it costs you. Especially then. Say what you mean, do what you say, let your actions match your standards. And when they look at you, they won't need to ask who you are, they'll feel it. Because integrity doesn't need proof, it only needs presence. Sometimes, things don't go your way. You lose, you fail, you hurt, you wonder why you bothered. But the Stoics taught, embrace it. Not because it's easy, not because it's fair, but because it's part of the journey. Fate isn't something you fight, it's something you accept. What happens, happens. But how you respond is where the power lies. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about owning it. It's about knowing that you still have control over your response. So let go of the need for control. Stop resisting the things you can't change. Instead, accept, learn, grow, and rise. Because fate isn't your enemy. It's the teacher who forces you to evolve. And every moment of struggle has a lesson waiting to be learned. That's your path. That's your strength. Embrace it and keep moving.